Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a review on the Shadowhunter TV show. And if you don't know this about me, I
love Shadowhunters.
I love Shadowhunters. Like, that show was bomb.com. Like, I loved it. It makes me really sad that it ended. Like, it really does. It really breaks my heart. Like, all the characters in the show were just so good. But anyways, let's see. The show started in 2016 and it just ended a couple days ago, 2019. And when I first started watching the show in 2016, I was like really hooked. Like, I love the show. And before I started, after I started watching the show, like, I didn't even, like, know that, the books existed, like, the Mortal Instrument books. Like, I had no clue the TV show was based off books. So, but once season 1 ended, let me tell you, season 1 was
off the chain. Like,
I was, like, so shook, and I was like,
man, this is some good crap.
But yeah, after season 1 ended, I decided to read some of the books. I read 2 of the books. I read City of Bones and then City of Glass. Because after season 1 ended, it was like in my head, I was like, I can't wait another couple months to know what happens or to watch it. So I decided to pick up the book and read it. And let me just let y'all in on a little secret. I hate reading.
Like, I hate reading. Like, I really hate reading. Like,
girl, you have not seen me pick up a book in like so long until that time. And when I was reading that book, like, I couldn't put it down. Like, it was so flipping good. And I don't remember the exact differences, but the book and the TV show from the first season and the first 2 books, they're kind of the same, but they're also different in their own ways. I don't exactly remember the exact differences, but I do know that when I was like reading the book, I was like, oh, that didn't happen in the show like that. So just a little warning, there is differences from the book and the TV show, but I only read 2 of the books, so I don't have room to talk for the other seasons of the show. But yeah, but season 1 I felt like was so good, and the book was good too. I didn't end up reading the other books because I'm just gonna be honest, school let out,
And I hate reading at home, so. And I only read in school because I was bored as
fudge.
So season 1, I give it a 10 out of 10 because season 1 was so awesome, like awesome. And then season 2 comes around, and this is when like they're kind of figuring out that like, Clary and Jace, they're brothers, but not really brothers and sisters, things like that. And season 2 was really good too. I love season 2. I felt like there was like so much tension. It's like
Clary and Simon together, making Jace mad, and then Jace is just sad, and then it's like, but then like you really know Clary's, in my head,
I felt like Clary was just going out with Simon in season 2 just to kind of like not have somebody, but because her relationship didn't work out with Jace, so she was like, oh, Simon loves me and Simon's my best friend, so I must love him. Like, but I could tell the chemistry just wasn't there. But I did like season 2. Season 2 was a good one. There was a lot going on and things like that. But I was shocked when like Valentine and I was shocked in season 2 when Jace was like, I'm gonna go to Valentine's side. I was like, what is wrong with you, boy? Like, I was like in shock mode. I was like, what the flip, dude? Like, but it turns out that like he comes to his senses and whatever like that. But yeah, season 2, loved it. Give that a 10-2. So season 1 and season 2 were like bomb.com. Like, I really liked them. I really enjoyed them. It was so freaking good. Now, season 3 is one, like, season 3 was one that, like, I would have to give, like, and I'm talking about the season 3 that ended with, like, I'm talking about the season 3 before they made the final season 3, which I always just called it season 4, but you know, that's just me. But season 3, I didn't really like it that much. Like, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. And that's because, like, I don't know what it was, but, like, it just, like, wasn't clicking with me. Like, I didn't really, like, enjoy it that much. Like, I was watching, like, I understood all of it. Like, I got it. But, like, I don't know. It's just, it wasn't my favorite. So, season 3, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. I ain't got much to say about that because, I mean, it was good at first. But when Jace turned to the owl and things like that, like, I kind of already had an idea. Like, I knew it was coming. Like, it was no secret. And unlike season 2 on 1,
And all the secrets were exploded, like.
I loved it all. But season 3, I kind of already knew it was happening. So it's kind of like, come on, when's it going to happen? But let me tell you, I was shooken when at the end of season 3, like, this was the last episode before they made the final season 3 episodes. I was shooken when Claire died. Or died. Because I was just like, what the flip? I was like, you end the show like this? Because I didn't even know that they were going to make, like, a final season 3 episodes for Shadowhunters. Like, I had no clue. So when Clary died, I was, like, very, like, shook, and I was like,
Oh my gosh, like, what the flip? You just end the show like this?
and after I was done watching it, I was like, they have to make, like, a season 4. They have to make the next episodes to see, like, how life's going without Clary and stuff. And, like, they didn't make that till, like, a year after. They didn't make the season 4 until, like, a year after. I'm just gonna say season 4 instead of saying the final season of season 3, like, because whatever. But it took them about a year and a half or a year. Maybe I'm just, like, tripping because I missed them so much when that happened, to make the episodes for season 4. But man, I was just like, they got to bring back Shadowhunters. Like, because I was like, after I watched that episode, I was like, they have to bring it back. They have to. Clary died. Like, you can't just leave us like that. You can't leave the fans like that. But I was shooken. Like, I was, like, in shock mode. My heart dropped after that, after we found out Clary died. And I didn't even know if they were going to make a season 4 or something. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, I don't think they knew if they were going to make a season 4, but whatever. But when season 4 came out, the final season 3 episodes, I was on my
feet, on my tippy toes the whole time.
It was, like, so good. Like, when Jonathan, okay, so if you didn't know, you probably already do know, that's why you're watching this. Well, let's just say I loved the final season 3, season 4, whatever you want to call it. I loved it. Like, it was
so flipping good.
Like, I have to give props to Cassandra Clare, the girl that wrote the book. That's the author of who wrote the Mortal Instruments, that even made this show even possible, because her imagination goes so far that, like, you can't even believe that somebody would come up with this good content. And that's what I was, like, thinking the whole thing of, like, the final season 3, season 4, was that it's so good. Like, how could anybody think of this to put in a show? Like, everything was like, anything you thought of, you're wrong. Like, you're not even gonna think of that. Jonathan was a shock. I really thought Jonathan and Clary in the show were gonna like become good siblings, and I thought they were going to reconnect.
Clary was gonna make Jonathan the good child again.
But sadly, that did not happen. Clary ended up killing the son of a gun. And I'm saying all this like in shooken because I didn't read the books, the last couple books, so I really don't know what happened. It was all like a surprise to me. So for you guys that read the books, you probably already knew what happened and kind of had an idea what was going to happen in the show. But to me, I was like all shooken up. Like, I was like,
Oh my God.
But let me tell you, I really thought, because you know how he said Claire had that like flashback where she ran back to her room. She's like, I should have been the princess that saved my prince in the tower. That like little scene, I really thought like in the show, like Jonathan was going to become good. Because with Clary in all the episodes, Clary makes everybody turn good. Clary makes an impact. Clary has powers. So I really thought to goodness that Jonathan was going to stay in the show. Like, stay, but turn out to be a good person from what since Clary's the only person that he has as a family, but I was wrong. So that was a little shooken, and I was really shooken when the mom came back from like this is the very last episode. I'm talking about the very, very last episode of the Shadowhunters, the 2.5 hour episode that like I literally like, oh my gosh, that show was so freaking good. Like, I had to watch it again the next morning. But I was so shocked when this is when things for me like turned around. I was like, oh my gosh, they only got an hour to explain all this crap to me that just happened. Is when her mother comes down and says,
The angel Rizal told you to stop creating rooms because you're using them as a disadvantage.
and I was like, what? I was like, are you kidding me right now? I was like, what the flip, dude? What's wrong with the angels? Like, she just saved her friend Isabel, saved her friend Simon, like, saved Magnus. Like, she saved all these people with her creating rooms. And I'm like, you saying she using it to her disadvantage, or using it, like, in a bad way? And it's like, and then her mother was like,
And the angel said, if you create another room, he can take it away as fast as he gave it to you. And I was
like, what? I was like so shocked. Like, Cassandra Clare, you got me there. But like, oh my gosh. And when she went to go kill Jonathan, I had a feeling after she created that room behind his back as she was like hugging Jonathan, that it was done. Now, when her mother said the angel can take away the gift as fast as he gave it, I was like, okay, well, she don't have the power to make rooms or whatever. I didn't realize that it was like taking away all her rooms and forgetting about the shadow world. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I was so shooken. Like, I was just like so shooken. And when they were at Magnus's wedding apologizing and everything, or not apologizing, when they were at Magnus's wedding and like Clary was like pulling over Simon saying,
I just want you to let you know I couldn't have done anything without you in the shadow world,
I was like, what's going on? Because, you know, I didn't know that like when she got her gift taken away that she got the whole shadow world taken away from her. Like, I was like in shock. And I was like, what's going on? Why is she crying? And then when she was like telling Jace
that every cell in her body loves him, even the cells that die love him.
I was just like, Clary, what's going on? Like, because I didn't know. It's like, I was like getting confused, and then she was crying. I felt like I was Jason that scene, like, Clary, what's going on? Like, and then when I finally found out that, like, the angel took away all the shadow world from her and, like, lost her memory of Jace and everything that she ever knew about the shadow world, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, really? This is how the show ends? I was like, oh my gosh, like, for real. Like, I was shooken. Like, like, I could not believe it. But then, the last 15 minutes of the episode, y'all know what I be talking about if y'all watched it. When they put 1 year later where everybody's at. Yeah, Maya, like, she bought the bar or whatever. And then you got Simon writing the comic book that him and Clary started writing when they were little. And then you got Izzy and Simon still together, which I was kind of shocking because, like, throughout all the seasons, you never would have thought Simon and Isabel would have been ended up together. Like, you never thought that. Like, it would have thought it'd be maybe Simon and Maya and then Izzy and Raphael, like, but never in all these seasons did I expect Simon and Isabel. So you got me there. Which was so sweet was when they showed Clary at her Brooklyn Academy Arts, and Jace was glamored, and he thought that she couldn't see him. And she was looking at him, and he was looking at her like, who you looking at, like? And then she goes,
oh, sorry to bother you, but do I know you from somewhere? And then he walks away and runs.
Thank goodness Clary was a woman and chased after the man because she knew what she was missing.
She goes, don't I know you from somewhere?
And it's like, the angel took away her power, but I feel like even though the season ended, and this might have not ended in the books like this, so don't get, this is just me talking. I feel like if the show kept going on, that eventually Clary would have reconnected with Jace. It's just she would have to learn the whole new shadow world, because like the last 5 minutes of the show, it was like, oh, do I know you? Your name's Jace. And then he goes, yeah. And Jace was like so freaking happy. I was like, oh my gosh, Jace. Don't you dare ruin this. All those times you checked up on her in her apartment, worth it. But then it ended there, and I was like shocked, and I was like, I can't believe it ended there. But it did. It sadly did end there. The last episode of Shadowhunters, the final episode, I give it like 100 out of 10 because that was like my favorite episode ever. There were so many twists and turns that I didn't even know were going to happen. And I have to give it all to Cassandra Clare because her imagination is so good. It's so good. So thank you, Cassandra Clare, for doing a great job. Even though I don't even know if those parts came from the book, because like I said, I didn't read the book, but the whole idea and concept of Shadowhunters came from her, and the show would have never happened without her. So thank you so much. I really enjoyed watching it, and I'm sad that it is over. But hopefully a new show will come on, and it will be as good as that. I'm hoping that Cassandra Clare wrote these Clockwork Angel books, and I read 2 of them. I don't know what's up with me. Like, I start her series, but like I never finish it. And it's not that she's not a good writer. It's just me. I'm a slow reader, and I get bored like reading books. So I hope one day they make like a Clockwork Angel show. If y'all know what I'm talking about, comment down below, because Clockwork Angel is a series she wrote about. That's another story. Anyways. Just comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. But other than that, the casting that they did for the show was great. The content was great. The effects were great. The makeup was great. Like, the show was awesome. The only thing I didn't like was like in season 3 with the whole Jason Al thing. Like, it didn't grab me like that. But other than that, Season 1, Season 2, and the final episode of Season 3 was bomb.
Bomb.com. I loved it.
So thank you guys for creating a show because I loved it and I'm so sad to see it end. But a show can't go on forever. But yeah, those were my thoughts on the show. I really enjoyed it. If you are a Shadowhunters fan like me, comment down below of who your favorite character is, because I would have to say mine is Clary. I don't know if it's because she's the main character, but Clary and her style, the way she's grown over time, just bomb. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see any more of these like videos, comment down below also. I'm saying that because it's the easiest way to connect with y'all. But yeah, please subscribe and like this video, and I hope to see y'all next time. Peace.